Hello everyone, I am your physics expert and today we are going to do chapter 13 of your book, that is magnetic effect of electric current. So now in this chapter first we'll be studying about all the magnetic effects that electric current will be providing to us. Tell me one thing, that what is magnet, or what do you understand by the term magnetic that is in the chapter? So I am sure that all of you have played with this tiny rectangular box that you are seeing right here, that what is magnet and what do we do with magnet, because I am sure all of us has played with this tiny little black box in our childhood. So now tell me, what is magnet? Yes, obviously magnet is a device or substance. What it does, it attracts things. Like suppose it is lying here, if it is lying here and there is a thing at a distance, so it won't even move and it can attract the thing towards itself, right? So this is magnet, because we have played in childhood a lot with it. What we used to do, we used to keep iron fillings, or I must say iron nails or something related to iron at a distance and keep the magnet at a distance. So what it used to do, it used to attract things, and obviously I did that I used to start moving the magnet backwards, and what happened, even the iron nail started to move. So I used to think that the magnet has some magical power in it that it can attract things. So I'm sure that you all have an idea that what we are going to study in this chapter and what all are the properties of magnet that we are going to deal with. So I'm sure that you're clear that, or you have an idea that at what actually we are going to see in this chapter. So now let's move on and see what are the different topics that we are going to cover in this chapter. So firstly, we'll be dealing with introduction to magnetic concept, magnetic field, Oersted experiment, magnetism around straight conductor and thumb rule, rules to find direction of magnetism according to current, magnetism around bar magnet and circular coil, solenoid and electromagnet, Fleming left-hand rule, electromagnetic induction, and Fleming's right-hand rule, Lenz's law, and finally we'll be dealing with electric circuit. So now let's start with the introduction part. So first of all, you all know that we'll be talking about magnet. So what is magnet? Magnet is a substance that attracts iron or steel object towards it. It won't be attracting wood. So firstly, it has a magnetic property that can only attract iron or steel or things made up of iron or steel, right? Now the next point comes that, have you ever thought that how come our scientists realize that there is this substance lying which can attract things? Obviously all of a sudden it can't come into their mind that there will be a substance that can attract things to us. So this concept came from our planet Earth. Yes, the planet Earth on which we live. So I am sure that all of you know that Earth has three layers: core, crust and mantle, right? And core being the innermost layer. So this innermost layer has a substance present in it, I must say, which has the property to attract substances toward it. So this is chemically, I must say, this is Fe3O4, that is a ore of iron which is magnetite, and commonly it is known as lodestone. So what happens in this, what happened that when the scientists came to know about that there is a substance which is present in the core of Earth which can attract something like this, and obviously after this, the curious mind of our planet, they obviously what they do, first they observe something in nature that yes, this is happening naturally, and then they think, can we make something of this sort naturally to obtain benefit that which can actually stay at a distance and attract things, right? If suppose this is the iron filings lying here and here is a magnet, you won't have to carry these iron filings in your hands one by one and separate them out, right, from a mixture that is there. So what you can do, you can take a piece of magnet and move it over the mixture and the iron filings will get separated. That is, our task is made simple. So what they thought, that let's make this substance artificially. So hence we got magnets. So I hope that it is clear to you that how we actually got magnet, from where this concept came, and how did we make it. So this was all about introduction, and let's move on. So now that you have realized that what are magnets and how do we play with them, or what are their properties. So the first and foremost property that we only know from a layman thinking, that a magnet can only attract things, but we do not know about the scientific properties, what are its scientific uses. So all that will be studied in this chapter. And now I am sure that you have realized that when the scientists made the artificial magnet, so this magnet can attract only selective thing. It cannot attract all the things, because if this might have been the case, so suppose I keep a magnet in a room, so what will it do? It will attract each and everything lying in the magnet, and that will be of no use. So it only attracts things that are made out of a selective material. Now, after the scientists derived magnets, they made the magnets in different shapes, and the most common shapes that we use in our day-to-day life are of two types. Firstly, the bar magnet. As you can see in this magnet, how does this magnet look like? This is a bar magnet, which is a long rectangular box-like structure, and it has a north pole and a south pole. Right, now next shape of the magnet, that is the horseshoe shaped magnet. So it is a horseshoe shaped magnet, and it is of U shape, and the two poles represent the north pole as well as the south pole, and it also have magnetic properties. So these are the two types of magnet that we see daily, or we actually use. But there are many more shapes now that are available in the market. I'm sure you have seen many. So now answer my one question, that have you seen anything that is made out of magnet or that has magnet in its name? Yes. Your answer is right. That is, first is the magnetic needle, and the second is the magnetic compass. So what is a magnetic needle? As you can see in the diagram, it is just like a needle, right? It is just like a needle, and whenever it comes in contact or nearby a magnet is lying, if nearby a magnet is lying, so what happens? This magnetic needle starts to deflect. That means, what do you mean by deflecting? That means it starts to change its direction. You can always do this practically by yourself, and you will be remembering the fact more. So in this, what happens, that the needle starts to deflect whenever there is a magnet nearby. And now the second thing, that is the magnetic compass. I'm sure we all have played with this, because what we used to do, we used to bring a magnetic compass, and we used to give directions to our friend that we are in the north direction, and another group of friends will find us. So what happens in magnetic compass, it tells us about the direction, that is north, south, east, west. So I hope this is clear, that what are the different types of magnet, what are the things that are using magnet and to carry out different activities, just as magnetic needle and magnetic compass. Now let's study some facts about the magnet. So now let's see what is the first fact that we actually need to learn about magnets, right? So the first fact, as you can see in the diagram, what you can see, you are seeing that there is a magnet and it is freely aligned with the thread. So we have tied it with the thread and it is allowed to come to the rest position, right? So have you ever thought that what will be the direction after which it will be coming to rest, or in which direction will it align itself after coming to rest? So I'll tell you, it is north-south. Okay, this is barely an assumption that the scientists have made, or I must say observation, because whenever we are tying a magnet to the thread, it freely aligns itself into north-south direction. Now what is the reason behind this, or what is the reason that our scientists gave us, that why a magnet align itself in the north-south direction? So what happens is, there is a lodestone, or we can say a natural magnet, that is lying in the core of the earth. Obviously we have studied just now in the starting of the chapter. So this happens because lodestone, it is a natural magnet and it might be aligned in south to north direction, right? In south to north direction. So obviously if any artificial magnet on the earth's surface is aligned, so it aligns in the opposite direction. And what is the opposite direction to south north? Obviously northwest. So the first fact about the magnet that we are studying, that it always aligns itself in north south direction. Now the second fact that we are going to study, I am sure that you all have done this. See, you have two magnets, right? If there are two magnets, so what we used to do, we used to bring them closer so they get attracted. Or you can obviously take two magnets right now and try to bring them closer. So as suppose if you are bringing left sides toward each other, if this magnet has left side and right side of another magnet, so they get attracted, right? That means the opposite sides are attracting each other. And now do one thing, that left side of the first magnet and left side of the second magnet, bring them closer. So are they getting attracted? No, they are not getting attracted. So do you know why this happens, that they are not getting attracted? Because if you are bringing the like poles, that is, if you are bringing the left side of first magnet and the left side of the second magnet, so they are like things, that means they are same, so they'll repel each other, because this is we know by Newton's law also, that opposite attracts. So the same thing is happening, that if the opposite sides of the magnets are of the two magnets are brought closer, they will attract each other, and if same sides of the magnet are brought towards each other, they will repel each other, right? So now what happens, you can scientifically say that if North Pole and North Pole are coming towards each other, and what is the North Pole? The side which is aligning itself towards the north direction when it is suspended freely, as we have studied in our previous point. So it is known as North Pole, and if the side that is suspending itself towards the south direction, it is known as South Pole. So North Pole, they will repel, and North South will attract. So the second point is that like poles repels and the opposite poles attract. So the third fact about the magnets, that they always exist as dipole, as you can see in the diagram. So now what is the dipole? Tell me. Dipole, from the word we can make out, di means two and pole, that is the side. So a magnet will always have two sides. Now most of you must be thinking that what if I break the magnet from between? So one hand will be having a north pole and my second hand will be having a south pole. But as soon as we are breaking a magnet, so the magnet that is created, or I must say that the two pieces, suppose this is a magnet, as you can, let's imagine that this is a magnet, this my forefinger is the north pole and my thumb determines the south pole or tells about the south pole of the magnet. So if I am breaking it, so north pole is the original for the new magnet that is formed, and for the second magnet south pole is the original. So what will happen, it will automatically, first magnet will automatically make a south pole, and the second magnet which already had south pole will make a north pole. That means even the smallest piece of magnet, if you powder that form, or I must say if you crush it, still the tiniest portion of the magnet will have a north pole as well as a south pole. So a magnet is always dipole. So remember this, a magnet is always dipole, that is having two poles, north and south. We know them. All the properties that we are studying, we all know about them, or we have actually felt them, but we don't know that it is a scientific property of magnet. So now what we are going to do, that suppose I'm sure even each and every one of you has felt this while playing with magnets. So what happens, that if a magnet is lying and suppose this is the magnet and I bring an iron nail, so obviously magnet has to attract it, but if it is here, it is at a distance, so that means I don't feel any attraction, that something is pulling it towards the magnet. Alright, so I bring it closer. So now here I can feel that this iron nail is being pulled by the magnet, that something is attracting it, and I have to apply force to stop this attraction. So now you realize that what happens in this case, that this is a magnet and the magnet draws some field or an area where the magnetic force can be felt or its magnetic effect can be felt. So this particular area is known as the magnetic field. So suppose this is the area, this is the magnet, and around this magnet and in this field, if we bring a iron nail, suppose I am bringing an iron nail in this field, so I'll feel the attraction, and if the iron nail is out of this magnetic field, I won't feel any attraction on iron nail. So now I'm sure that suppose this magnet is lying, you are seeing in the diagram, but can you see any magnetic field around it? No, we cannot see any magnetic field around the magnet. So that means we need to draw this imaginary, or we can draw it on our own. So if you want to draw a magnetic field around a magnet, what you got to do, that the lines must be emerging from the north pole and they end to the south poles. All right. So if you have to draw magnetic lines, or I must say magnetic lines, to show that this is the area where a magnetic field is present, so you will start the line from the north pole of the magnet, you will end the magnetic line to the south pole. Now we have studied all the properties about the magnet, and now we will be studying the characteristics of magnetic lines. So what are these magnetic lines? Because till now you have seen that how do we draw these magnetic lines. So what did I tell you, that if we need to draw a magnetic line, they will be emerging from the north direction and they might be ending or finishing in the south direction. See, as you can see, they are curved shaped, right? So this you need to remember, there is no specific reason that why do we start them from north direction and why do they end in south direction. So we just need to remember, and we have to, whenever we are asked to draw a magnetic field across a magnet, suppose in the question you are given, see this is a bar magnet, so draw a magnetic field using the magnetic lines in the examination. So you need to draw it as this diagram is shown to you, right? Let's move on to the second characteristics of magnet. So what is the second characteristic of magnet? Second characteristic of magnet says that suppose this is a bar magnet, and if you are bringing an iron nail just so close to its south or north pole, that means that the force of attraction that you will feel, that will be more. So that means near the magnet, or I can say, I can show you in this diagram that where these magnetic lines are closer to each other, that means that they are very close, it will denote that there is a strong magnetic field. And if these lines, as you can see when we move a bit upper from the bar magnet, that these lines are far apart each other, so this means the magnetic field is getting diminished, or I must say the better word for this would be weaker. So it is getting weaker, so here the magnetic field is not so strong. So I'm sure now you realize that why some lines are made so close to each other near the magnet and why some lines are made so far apart, magnetic lines are so far apart from the magnet. This is because these are denoting the strong magnetic field and the weak magnetic field. Now the third point, that, or I must say the third characteristic that we need to study, that why do we draw these magnetic lines? Because I am sure we are not drawing them to show that here we are getting a strong magnetic field and here we are getting a lesser weaker magnetic field. That might be a reason, but that is not only the reason, because this I can tell you that near the magnet you'll feel a strong magnetic field, and away from the magnet you will be feeling a lesser magnetic field, right? But the second reason for which we draw magnetic field is to tell the direction of the magnetic line. Suppose this is a magnetic line, as you can see in the diagram, and if we are drawing a tangent to a magnetic line, suppose this is the bar magnet and this is a magnetic line, and if I am drawing a tangent, so this will give me direction of magnetic field. So now you realize that why do we draw magnetic field lines, that it is giving direction of the magnetic force. All right, now the fourth characteristic that you must remember, and it is very important, right? And the fourth point that is very important, that these magnetic lines can never intersect each other, and even you need to be careful while making that. Whenever you are making a magnetic line, so they can never ever intersect each other. Oh, okay, now you must be asking that why they cannot intersect each other, what is the harm that it will cause, that if we are drawing or intersecting the magnetic lines. So what happens, suppose this is a magnetic line and this is another magnetic line, so now they are intersecting. Now draw a tangent. For this, the tangent will go in the upward direction, and for this the tangent will go in the downward direction. So what do you get? You will realize that the direction of force is different, that we are getting two directions of magnetic force. So this is the reason That why we do not make any intersected magnetic lines, because if we are making intersected magnetic lines, so it is giving us two direction, and that is not at all possible, because the direction can only be one of magnetic lines. So I am sure that you are clear with what we have studied till now, and what are the different characteristics of magnetic lines. So, and the fifth point, I don't consider it as a point, but you can write, because we have already studied it in our first point, that the magnetic lines, as you can see in the diagram, they emerge from North Pole and they end at South Pole. That means they are continuous curves. Alright, as you can also see in the diagram that there is no straight line, but they are continuous curves that are emerging from North Pole and ending to South Pole. So now this completes our second topic, that is magnetic lines, or I must say the characteristics of magnetic lines.